Hi girls, welcome back to my channel. Today's video is a collaboration with one of my friends here on YouTube. Her name is Monica. We decided to get together and do this summer inspired collaboration and bring it to you guys here today. I'm going to be doing my everyday summer go-to look, and Monica is going to be doing her summer essentials video. So my hair is clipped up. This is not how I'm going to be leaving my house, so you can ignore this. I just need to clip it out of my face. So we're going to get started with the look. Like I said, this is my everyday go-to look for the summer. It's very easy peasy. Very minimal products used here today. I'm going to show you how I kind of streamline my products in a way to kind of give them like a double use kind of method. You'll see what I mean when we get into the actual makeup look. So without further ado, let's get started. My brows are done just because we like to save time here on my channel, and I don't want you watching me do my brows for 5 hours. If you're interested on how I do my brows, I will link a video down below so you can check that out, but nonetheless, they're on and ready for the show. So face is moisturized. I am going to just start off with the eyes, and then we'll do the face later. So first thing that we're going to do with the eyes is I need to cancel out any discoloration on the lids, any veins that are popping through. So for that, I'm just going to be using this Palladio Herbal Concealer that I picked up at Sally Beauty Supply. This is not a very opaque formula, but it does the trick, and I don't really like this concealer for concealing around the face or under my eyes. It just doesn't really do much, so I like to use it for this purpose. So for that product to blend out, I'm going to use my e.l.f. Flawless Concealer brush, and I'm just going to blend that out. And again, this is just to act as a base and to color up any discoloration that I have on my lid, because you don't want any blue veins poking through. And excuse my voice, I'm still getting over that little cold that I had last week as I die. So forgive me. Okay, so now that that is nice and blended, we're going to go in with a cream colored shadow, and for that I'm going to use Creme Brulee, or Brulee, I forget what it's called, by Wet n Wild. It's that one there, and as you can see, I've hit pan because this is like my go-to for setting any concealer that I place on my eyes. It's also really great to act as a base for any shadows that you're going to be blending on top of it. It just helps them blend a lot smoother, guys, when you set that base. You can use this method when you're using a primer and you just want to set the primer. You can also use it to set like a more colored, like if you're using like a tattoo, like a Maybelline color tattoo. It just helps to give a nice blank, smooth canvas. Like I said, it helps with blending. So tip number 1 for you. And we're going to apply this all over the lid, all the way up to the brow, because we're going to be using this as your brow bone highlight as well. Sorry for the sniffling. Can't help it. Okay, so now that that is set, we're going to go in with our first transition color. Well, our transition color. For transition today, guys, I'm going to be using a bronzer. I love using bronzers as a transition just because it helps to add some warmth to the face. And like I said, very minimal products I'm going to be using today, so it's kind of like a 2-for-1. So this one is by e.l.f. and it's the e.l.f. Contouring Blush and Bronzer in the shade St. Lucia. It looks like this. And I'm going to be using this bronzer here with a fluffy brush. We're going to be using Sonia Kashuk Fluffy Blending Brush. So we're just going to go in, pick up some of that, and then just add that into the crease. And I'm not going to be using any liner or lashes today, guys. So I've learned a little trick that when you are skipping on liner and lashes, you kind of want to still get that turn up kind of effect for the outer portion of the eye. It just kind of helps to lift the eye. So what you want to do with your crease color is you kind of want to go in, and at the end here you kind of want to flick it up. Like I said, that just helps to lift the corner of the eye upwards rather than downwards. Kind of like drags your face down, makes you look older, makes you look tired. So I've noticed that if you flick it up at the end, it helps to turn the eyes up versus down. So you just flick it up at the end. Okay, so now we're going to go back in with that brow bone highlight just to add a little bit more. And I'm just going to use a flat shader brush in that creme brulee shade again. And just pat that under the brow. Okay, now to get a little bit more depth into the eyes and bring some more definition into that crease, you're going to go back in with that same bronzer shade and a more tapered brush. Just going to give you a little bit more control, a little bit more precision. And you're going to go right into the crease on the outer part. Focus it there and then just bring it in to the middle of the eye and blend it inward. Let me zoom you guys in a little bit so you can see. Hello. Should have done that in the beginning. Forgive me. Okay, so now we're ready for our lid. And for my lid, guys, what I'm going to be using is not an eyeshadow. It's actually the Balm's Mary Luminizer. I absolutely love this shade. It's like a champagne, beautiful color. It adds like the perfect amount of shine, and I love this product because, like I said, you can use it as a highlight, obviously, because that's what it is, essentially. Excuse me. But you can also use it on the lid just to add that brightness to the lid. So I'm just going to use a flat shader brush again and grab the product and just pat it all over the lid here. Sometimes I like to use my finger with this because if I'm in a rush, it just helps with easier application, but I don't know why I'm feeling brushes today. So you're going to pat that on the lid and also put it on the inner corner there. Okay, so that's pretty much it for the eyes, guys. Now we're going to move on to the face for now. And for my primer, I'm going to use the L'Oreal Revitalift Miracle Blur. I love this because it is great for blurring out and canceling out any pores that you might have, wrinkles, acne, you name it. This stuff is great for camouflaging any imperfections. So I first like to dab it on the center of my face as well as my chin and anywhere that I might have some breakouts, which obviously I do right here. So I like to pat it in there and then just rub and smooth the rest on the rest of the face. Okay, for foundation, My go-to summer look is bronzed, dewy, glowy skin, so I'm going to grab my Luminous, Outlast Stay Luminous by Coverall. Sorry. This is in the shade 825. It's a little bit light for me. My normal shade is 842, but I picked up the wrong shade, so I'm just going to take about a pump on the back of my hand, and we're going to dab that all over. And like I said, it's a little light, so I'm going to go in with a little bit of bronzer later on and fix that situation, so no worries there. Okay, and to blend that in, you see Jaden peeking his head in. You probably didn't. You see him? Shadow. We see your shadow, boo. I'm going to use my BR250 by Coastal Scents. Now, in the summertime, guys, I don't really like to go for a very full coverage. One, because it's hot, and two, the heat just makes your face feel like it's melting off, and it's not a good look. Plus, I don't like that heavy feeling. You know, I want my skin to breathe more, and you want your freckles to show through. I just find that that is like, it has summer written all over it, so. We're only going to do one layer of foundation. So that's one layer. And then I'm going to go in with my LA Girl Pro Conceal. I'm going to use two. I'm going to use the shade Creamy Natural, which is more my skin shade. And I'm going to add in a little bit of Natural, which is a tad bit lighter. So I'm just going to pop this under the eyes. This is the shade Creamy Beige. And I'm going to add in a little bit, I have a hair on my nose, a little bit of Natural, just to brighten things up on the inner corner. And then we're going to blend that out. I'm going to use that same brush for here. And I love these concealers by LA Girl because they're very pigmented and opaque, and they kind of just cover everything. They really do. They really do. And for the close to the eye area, I'm just going to use a finger. To help blend it out. And I'm just going to cover this little guy. I'm going to use my Dermablend Quick Fix Stick in the shade Medium. Excuse me, Beige. I'm just going to use a flat concealer brush and pick up some of that, because I don't ever want to go directly on any of your problem areas with the actual stick product, because you don't want to contaminate it. So there we go. Okay, so to set my under eyes, I'm going to be using the Maybelline Fit Me in the shade Porcelain 110. This is an exact dupe for MAC's Emphasize, if you're wondering. And I'm going to use an e.l.f. blush brush. Guys, I can't talk today. Forgive me. It's early in the morning on a Sunday. Jaden woke me up early and the cat woke me up because they were both hungry, so. Mom life again. So I'm just going to apply a thin layer of powder under there just to set that concealer. And then for the rest of the face, I'm going to use my Rimmel Stay Matte in the shade Buff Beige 012 and a big fluffy brush. Just going to pick up a little bit and just set the center of my face, because that's where I tend to get very oily, right in the T-zone, and I don't really want oil slick syndrome, because we all know that there's a difference between dewiness and oil slick city. So okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to set the brows, and I'm just using my Milani clear brow gel for this. And then we're going to move on to bronzer. I'm going to pick up that same bronzer, St. Lucia by e.l.f. And I'm going to use a Real Techniques blush brush, multitasking brush, sorry. Pick up a little bit, and we're just going to bronze up the face. I like to bronze up around the temple because I have a 5 head. So whenever you want to minimize something, you want to add bronzer, and whenever you want to accentuate something, you're going to add a highlighter. So for my girls who like to recede that hair a little bit, or hairline a little bit, not recede, you know what I mean, minimize that hairline, you want to add a bronzer right around that area. You also want to add a little bit of bronzer here just to hollow out the cheeks. And it also adds some life back into the face. And whenever I'm bronzing, guys, there's a difference between bronzing and contouring. Bronzing is when, like what I'm doing here, I'm just adding a little bit of color back into the face, and I kind of do that like on the cheekbone area. And then on the jawline here, kind of like in a 3 motion. So from here to here, and then on the jawline and down the neck. Contouring is when you go in with a more defined line right here in the hollows of your cheek, right there, to kind of chisel that out. And I'm not going to be doing any contouring today because, like I said, this is my everyday go-to summer face. So I just kind of want to look bronzy and glowy, and yeah. Okay, so for blush, what I'm going to be using is that same duo, and we're going to pick up the blush here with that same brush that I used to bronze with, and just dab it right here. I love this blush. It has a little bit of sheen to it, which helps to just illuminate the face and add a nice flushed glow. So, really like it. And I also like to put a little bit of this on my nose and just kind of throw it up there a little bit. It just kind of helps the whole look come together. You don't want to put like full-on blush on your forehead or your nose, but you kind of, you know, you just want to dust it in. Do you see what it does? It just kind of gives like that tied in, just glowy effect. See? Okay. So we're going to move back onto the eyes, and for the eyes, we're going to use just a little, that brush that I used in the crease, and we're going to pick up that bronzing shade again and just run it under the lash line. And I probably should have done this first, but I'm going to go in with the Rimmel Scandalize Liner this is probably my favorite, like absolute favorite liner for the waterline ever. We're just going to add this on the waterline. And whenever you add a nude liner or a white liner for my more fair-skinned girls, this is going to act as a brightening tool. You see what it did? It just kind of like opens up the eyes and just brightens things. Okay, so now we're just going to curl the lashes. And I need a mirror because I'm blind. And like I said, I'm not going for liner, I'm not going for lashes. You definitely could add some lashes just to, like, you know, just give that wispy effect. But for today's look, we're not going to. But by all means, if you want to, go right on ahead. So I'm going to use my tried and true Telescopic by L'Oreal. Absolute best mascara, in my opinion. It gives like length. It doesn't do so much for volume, but it adds length. So on days where I don't wear lashes, I absolutely love this. Because like I said, it kind of helps to elongate the lashes, which also kind of open up the eye. So just throw a coat on each eye. There you go. And for the lower lashes, I love this one. It's the Lash Accelerator by Rimmel. Very tiny wand, you say. Really tiny, and it's great for getting right in there. Okay, so everything is done. Lastly, we have to do the lips. And for the lips, I'm going in with my absolute favorite liner by Rimmel. This is East End Snob. And I'm just going to pop this on. I love to use this as an actual lip color. Let me wipe off my balm. See, it's like the perfect My Lips But Better kind of color. And just to top that off, I'm going to use my Rimmel Show Off in Solstice, number 102. Really pretty pink color. Not sticky. And it's just a beautiful gloss. And I'm going to also add a little bit of the Mary Luminizer to the apples of my cheeks. And I'm just going to use a fluffy brush for that. Right here. A little bit down the nose. And a little bit. Then we're going to go in with a detailer brush, guys, and we're just going to pop a little bit on the inner corner. Okay guys, so that about wraps it up for today's video. I hope you enjoyed this look. If you did, go ahead and give me a thumbs up. It's always appreciated. Make sure you head on over to Monica's channel, let her know that I sent you, show her some love, and subscribe to her channel if you're not with her already. Okay, so last thing, one thing I don't want to forget to mention, we still have a few days left for my giveaway, so if you're not entered, there's now 3 chances to enter. I will link the video with all the details down below. Make sure you definitely check that out. Follow the rules, guys. I know a lot of people have been just, I don't know what's going on. They're not watching the details video or what, but you need to watch that video. Make sure that you are entering and following all the rules. You must be subscribed to my channel. You need to first enter here on the YouTube video that I will link down there. And then for 2 additional entries, you can enter again on Instagram, as well as my new Twitter handle at Tina Knows Makeup. But to be entered in the giveaway at all, you need to be entered here on YouTube first. Then you can get the 2 additional entries on my other social media. So make sure you check out that video. Please enter if you're not already entered. I just want to give back to you guys. It's my way of showing you that I love you and I appreciate every single one of you. So I definitely want you guys in on that madness. Okay, thank you guys so much for watching. I love you and I will see you all next time. Bye guys.